Good evening, everybody. This is the regular meeting of the Mayor and Council, Monday, March 26, 2018. Can I please ask everyone to stand for a moment of silent prayer? Remember our colleague Vito at freedom. So, Craig, why don't you read us the psalm, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in Borough Hall, by email to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same as provided by law of a schedule including the date and time of this meeting. Roll call, please.
Councilman Borloni?
Here.
Councilwoman Bisbee? Here. Councilman Knigo?
Here.
Councilwoman Davis? Here. Councilman Papaleo?
Here.
And Mayor Mignon?
Here. Can someone please make a motion to approve Resolution 18-117 to go into closed session to exclude the public for the purpose of personnel discussions regarding the police department promotion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We need to close. We are back in open session. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Borloni?
Here.
Councilwoman Bisbee? Here. Councilman Knigo?
Here.
Councilwoman Davis? Here. Councilman Papaleo?
Here.
And Mayor Mignon?
Here. We're going to have our first opportunity for the public to comment on any item on the agenda specifically. Motion open to the public, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Would any member of the public like to ask a question or make a comment regarding any specific agenda item? We will have the open session at the end. Is it regarding an agenda item, please? Is it about an agenda item or a general comment?
I know it's not on there.
Okay, so we'll do it in the next session. Okay. Seeing none, can a motion to close to the public, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council regular meeting of February 26, 2018, and the work session of March 12, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Stand.
Okay. Is Ms. Daly coming too? Is she supposed to come?
She's helping me told her to when she
Yeah.
was
Just putting on the
You
record.
might have told her at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll take a recess. I have two mayor appointments. I'm appointing Ryan Gibbons as alternate one for a 2-year term to be from 3/26/18 through 12/31/19 as alternate one on the land use board, and George Sedaris as alternate two through a term completed 12/31/18 effective March 27th. Like all the other boards, we're having issues getting quorums, so we need to make sure all the boards are fully staffed, and that's why we're going to be making another appointment to the Board of Health, because we actually meet this evening. Not like cutting it close. So we may have to take a few minutes recess.
They actually had the forum before her.
Okay. The last time they didn't.
They didn't, no.
Maybe we can still approve her now. Motion to approve the appointment of Joan Daly to the Board of Health to fill the unexpired term of Mary Gannon through 12/31/18, effective today, March 26th.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the leave of absence and modified duty of Edwin Alter, Assessor Land Use Clerk, for the period of April 2, 2018 through May 1, 2018.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the resignation of Elizabeth McGinty as alternate number 2 of the Historic Commission effective January 1, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the salary increase of Jairo Duarte laborer 1 in the Department of Public Works from annual salary of $59,544 to $60,024 due to an increase in longevity from $960 to $1,440 effective April 3rd, 2018.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the salary increase of Roger Tarpey, general repairer in the Department of Public Works from an annual salary of $70,233 to $70,713 due to an increase in longevity from $1,920 to $2,400 effective April 28th, 2018.
So moved.
And does somebody want to make a motion regarding the police?
You're the same.
Get it all in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And would somebody want to make a motion on the promotion?
I'll make the motion. Second.
No.
Is to make, second?
Yes.
All right.
Do you have the number?
I don't, no.
Police liaison issue.
Approve the promotion of Sergeant Fred Casey from Sergeant to Lieutenant in the River Edge Police Department at an annual salary of $131,352 effective April 9th, 2018. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Sergeant Casey. Wait on the Girl Scout Award. So we'll open the, we have ordinance, ordinance, resolution 18-118, resolution to read the budget by title. You need to read the budget again. Or that's supposed to be ordinance?
No, it's
against the
It's by title.
Okay.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to open the hearing on the 2018 municipal budget.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open to the public regarding public comment on our 2018 municipal budget, which, as far as I understand, we still have no increase in the tax rate. No increase in the tax levy this year. Third time in 25 years.
0%.
0%.
0.0.
So, right. I have a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Let's just go to the ordinance. Ordinance for second reading. Ordinance 18-7. Madam Clerk, by title. Read it, please.
18-7, an ordinance authorizing an emergency appropriation under NJSA 40A:4-53.
I need a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 18-7.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open to the public for comment regarding ordinance 18-7. It's authorizing an emergency appropriation, $3,000 plus or minus $1,000 for codification of our borough ordinances. It's an annual sort of routine process to go through. If anyone has any questions or comments? Seeing none, motion to close to the public, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 18-7?
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Barloni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Steve? Yes. Councilman Domingo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis? Yes. Councilman Papalato?
Yes.
We have two ordinances on for first reading. Ordinance 18-8, Madam Clerk, please read by title.
Ordinance 18-8, an ordinance appropriating $19,546 from the General Capital Fund, Capital Improvement Fund for purchase of equipment.
And this is a regular capital ordinance. It's to pay for some of our anticipated capital projects and equipment. The fire department, borough clerk's office, health, recreation, police, and the library. there a motion to adopt ordinance 18-8 on first reading?
First move. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Barloni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dees? Yes. Councilman Kamigo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis? Yes. Councilman Papalayo?
Yes.
And we will have a public hearing on that ordinance at a future meeting. And lastly, ordinance 18-9, Madam Clerk.
18-9, an ordinance appropriating $20,000 from the general capital fund balance for the purchase of equipment, improvement of borough buildings and grounds.
And again, this is something that's sort of routine, where we use a portion of our capital surplus to aggregate some of the smaller purchases so we can purchase them at pay-as-you-go and not have to bond them over long term. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 18-9 on first reading?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Barloni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dees? Yes. Councilman Kamigo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis? Yes. And Councilman Papalayo?
Yes.
And we have resolutions by consent. Resolutions 18-119 through 18-129. Would any member of council like to have for separate vote or consideration any of those resolutions?
I'd like 18-129.
We have a motion to approve then resolutions 18-119 through 18-128, please.
So. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance 18-129. Do you would like read by title or?
I just wanted to make this comment as well, if I could.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
So for the members in the audience, this is a resolution to express opposition to the approval of H.R. 38 and strongly oppose Senate Resolution 446, the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act of 2017. If I would, just a brief comment on what this resolution is not about. It's not about any changes to our Second Amendment rights. What it is about is this state's right and this community's right to have its own laws apply to everyone physically present in our state, whether you live here or whether you're visiting from another state. If this were to become law, it would require each state to recognize the concealed carry standards from every other state. In other words, as long as a visitor to our state is permitted to carry a concealed weapon in their home state, they'd be allowed to carry a concealed weapon here too. Thank you.
Do you want a roll call on it? Or
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Barloni?
Oh,
Yes.
It's a motion, right?
Yeah, a motion.
Second?
Just clarification, the copy I had has a misprint on the page.
I
It
highlighted
says
that.
December.
It was, I would talk to Stephanie, it was corrected for the agenda. It was corrected on the agenda.
Just wanted to make sure that I was correct.
A second?
A second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Barloni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dees?
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis? Yes. And Councilman Papalayo?
Yes.
And will Councilman Bartoloni please read and move resolution 18-130, payment of the bills?
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas vouchers for the payment of goods and services rendered to the Borough of Riverridge have been received, and whereas each bill has been checked by the receiving department, approved by the Chief Financial Officer and Borough Clerk, and reviewed by the 3 members of the Finance Committee, now therefore be it resolved that bills as listed now be confirmed for payment from the appropriate funds as follows. Current account, $1,299,175.65. Recreation account, $3,369.57. Self-insurance account, $8,328. Trust other account, $118,305.13. Trust other developers account, $1,262.50. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have on file monthly reports available through the Borough Clerk's Office for our annual financial statement for 2017, our municipal user-friendly budget for 2018, Star Commission for November 2017, and January and February of 2018, Tax Collector Report January and February 2018, and the Environmental Commission for 2018. Back to the proclamations. Sorry?
Jane.
Did you come in?
Yes.
Oh, here. We'll do Staley first. We already approved you, so, but I can swear you in, I'll swear you in now, so you, because I appreciate you coming today, because we know there's a meeting this evening, so if you would like to be sworn in now before the meeting, we can do it right now. No, I'll come later. So.
If Joni's on this side, they'll be able to see her on the camera, so this would be good.
There, your liaison. I, Joan Daly, do solemnly swear. I, Jane Daly. My mother's Joan, my mother's Joan. I, Jane Daly, do solemnly swear. I, Jane Daly, do solemnly swear. I will support the Constitution of the United States. I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. And that I will. And that I will. Bear true faith. Bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. And allegiance to the same. And to the governments established. And to the governments established. In the United States. In the United States. And in this state. And in this state. Under the authority of the people. Under the authority of the people. I, Jane Daly, do solemnly swear. I, Jane Daly, do solemnly swear. That I will faithfully. That I will faithfully. Impartially. Impartially. And justly perform. And justly perform. All the duties of. All the duties of. A member of the Board of Health. A member of the Board of Health. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. So help me. Okay, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll be with me, Mayor Gannon was a very good one. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a proclamation for Girl Scout Week, and I know we have some representatives from Girl Scouts, if you'd all like to come up, please.
Big spread out.
The proclamation reads as follows: whereas throughout the long history of Girl Scouts, certain traditions remain meaningful and important and are still practiced today. And whereas each year the week containing Girl Scout birthday, March 12th, is bookended by celebrating the connection between Girl Scouts and their faith. And whereas Girl Scout Week begins the Sunday before March 12th, a day known as Girl Scout Sunday, and extends through the Saturday following March 12th, a day known as Girl Scout Sabbath. And whereas the Girl Scout birthday on March 12th commemorates the day in 1912 when Julia Gordon Lowe officially registered the organization's first 18 girl members in Savannah, Georgia, and this year represents the 106th birthday. And whereas since its founding in 1912, Girl Scouts has enjoyed the support of religious organizations, and together they have enriched the spiritual lives of Girl Scout members, each of whom strives from the perspective of their own personal belief to live up to Girl Scouts' promise and mission. Now therefore be resolved that I, the Mayor of Pearl River, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim March 11th through 2018 was Girl Scout Week in Laurel River Edge. And as always, we're very proud to have any member of the Scout organization here. You're doing a great job, and we look forward to having you back year after year after year. And then you work the ranks, and you get awards going forward. So, congratulations to you all, and we're very happy to be here tonight.
Thank you.
Mayor, we have a bunch of other Girl Scouts
Come on up
coming in,
forward.
so maybe we can just wait till they come in and take a picture with all of them. They're very prompt.
That's okay. I'll read that for this.
Daylight savings.
Everything's like time to the second.
You know?
How would you see on this?
Second grade and high school. And you go to fourth grade. Okay. They're all different, so we're all River Edge Girl Scouts, and then there's different troops. So everyone is under one banner, and then they have different troops on different levels. So sometimes, kindergarten I know has 2 troops this year, 2 troops of 17 girls.
Wow.
Like really big troops. And I'm not sure how many rounding troops there are. There's 2. Brownies. Juniors. Yep.
And the council put Marlon cookies before us.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't get them yet.
She's at her improv class. She's not going to make it. It's okay. Improv. Don't.
Does she need help?
She's still coaching.
Yeah.
Come on up. Come on up. Come right up.
And we're gonna try to face the camera up there, so everybody at home can see you. A proclamation reads as follows: whereas throughout the long history of Girl Scouts, certain traditions remain meaningful and important and are still practiced today. And whereas every year the week containing Girl Scout birthday, March 12th, is bookended by celebrating the connection between Girl Scouts and their faith, whereas Girl Scout Week begins the Sunday before March 12th, a day known as Girl Scout Sunday, and extends through the Saturday following March 12th, a day known as Girl Scout Sabbath. And where the Girl Scout birthday on March 12th commemorates the day in 1912 when Juliet Gordon Law officially registered the organization's first 18 members in Savannah, Georgia, and this year represents the 106th birthday. And whereas since its founding in 1912, Girl Scouts has enjoyed the support of religious organizations, and together they've enriched the spiritual lives of Girl Scout members, each of whom strives from the perspective of their own personal belief to live up to the Girl Scout promise and the law. Now therefore be it resolved that I, as the mayor of the Borough River Edge, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim March 11 through 17, 2018 as Girl Scout Week in the Borough River Edge. And again, we offer our congratulations, we offer our support with the council here who's been nothing but unanimous for all the scouting programs in town. And you're doing a great job. Hope we have a fair vote contest this year. And best of luck to us as we move forward in the Girl Scout career. So thank you for coming tonight. Jailbreak. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, the girls are free to leave if you want to, you don't need to. This is the rest of the meeting if you don't like to.
You want to fill the seats up, make it look like everybody's here.
Camera can't see your seats. We're going to have a special proclamation and memorial remarks regarding the passing Council President Vito Frida. I have a proclamation which I will try to get through. If not, you'll get the gist. Whereas Vito Frida was born on October 9, 1954 in Bitonto in the Puglia region of Italy and immigrated with his family to the United States in November 1970. And whereas Vito earned a Bachelor of Architecture and Bachelor of Science degrees from the City College of New York and had a successful career as a registered architect in the states of New York and New Jersey. And whereas Vito married his wife Maria Francesca on August 21, 1982, and in 1987 moved from Fort Lee, New Jersey to River Edge, where they raised their son Anthony and daughter Emanuela, Amy. And whereas Vito, although forever proud of his Italian heritage and culture, became a naturalized citizen of the United States. Whereas Vito served his community as a coach for the River Edge Little League, the Riverdale Soccer Association, and the Blackhawks soccer travel team, where he coached the boys team from 1991 to 2003. And whereas Vito further served his community as a member of the River Edge Traffic and Safety Committee, a member of the River Edge Board of Adjustment from 1994 to 2010, several years as either the chair or vice chair, and a member of the River Edge Planning Board. And whereas Vito further served his community by being elected to the Riverdale Regional Board of Education in 2002, and was re-elected in 2005, 2008, and 2011, serving 3 years as vice president and 3 years as president of the board. Whereas Vito further served his community by being elected to the River Edge Borough Council in 2012 and re-elected in 2015, and was looking forward to running for re-election again this year. Whereas Vito was selected by his council colleagues to serve as council president in 2012 and was chosen again to serve in that capacity for the year 2018. As a valued member of the Borough Council, Vito was held in the highest esteem, respected, and admired by many across the political spectrum. Whereas Vito entered into eternal rest on March 5th, 2018, His passing is a cause for deep sadness in the community and leaves a presence on the council dais that will greatly be missed. Now therefore be it resolved that I, as mayor of the Borough River Edge, and on behalf of the Borough Council, publicly express our profound sorrow at the loss of our colleague and friend, Council President Vito Aquafreda, and find comfort that his knowledge, intellect, wisdom, passion, dedication, and desire to do what always was in the best interests of his fellow residents ensure an enduring and constructive legacy to his beloved adopted hometown of River Edge. And if any member of the council wants to say something, that would be it. I think I've said enough between the last couple of weeks. I apologize. Councilman Pepperell?
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. Vito Aquafreda was a man on a journey in the biblical sense. He was always moving from moment to moment in his life. I met him in the early 90s, and then there was a hiatus, and then we reconnected here on the council. He was always looking to do service. He was always looking to do for his community. Vito was bigger than life, and I think that's a great phrase for Vito, because anyone who really met Vito and really connected with Vito, their lives were changed. He was a man who challenged you, a man who challenged himself, and there was a dialogue of souls, if you will. He was and will be someone that I will miss, and I wish him well in paradise.
Thank you, Mayor. My wife, I guess, first met Vito back in 2001. He was the president of the Board of Education. He actually hired her. So she knew him for a long time. And when I first ran for council, he stopped her one night and he sought her out and said, your husband, he's running for council. This is a man I want to talk to. I want to get to know him. And I got to know him briefly when I was the liaison to the Board of Education. I got to see how he operated, and then serving here on the council with him. And, you know, I brought this up, I think, at the last meeting. When you take roll call, we say, most of us say here. Vito always said present. And I thought about that. And you go, well, why would you say that? I always thought about it, actually. Why? And there's a difference, though, between being here and being present. You could be here, sitting here, but not necessarily present. And I think maybe that's why he said it. Because if you knew Vito, and they use this, you know, people use this term a lot to describe politicians sometimes, but, you know, gravitas. But he had it. He had gravitas. I always thought of him as older than he was. And not in any bad sense, but because he was someone that you knew when he was in the room, and you knew that you should listen to what he had to say. And I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss, we always sat on opposite sides of the dais when we were up here. We never sat on the same side. And I'm going to miss very, very much. We would just sometimes look at each other. We'd just make eye contact. And, you know, you didn't have to say anything, but you knew what we were thinking about. We were thinking about the same thing. I'm going to miss that very much. The joy I have in serving here is diminished because I won't have that anymore. So that is the definite loss. But he also, you know, not in just teaching here at the council and what he had to say, but his dedication, coming here constantly, coming here in January, making that budget meeting. And you could see he wasn't feeling well. His dedication to the borough, it can't do anything but impress you. And that is a tremendous, tremendous loss for this town and for us up here. So I'm going to miss him tremendously.
Thank you. Vito was my friend, and I feel very lucky that I had that friendship with him. I will value that always. He treated me with kindness. He went out of his way to teach me and support me while on this dais, and even personally. When my husband was ill and Vito was ill, he would come to the house just to check and see how we were, and that meant the world to us. And I will not forget that kindness that he showed us. I will never also forget how he fought to the last moment to be engaged and be collaborative in his work, in his family, and here. And frankly, I don't know that I would have what he had to do that. And I want that to be recognized. I admired that in him so much. We will miss him tremendously. I'm sure our future decisions and our future debates and dialogues will have Vito-isms in them. It would be hard not to, and I think we're better for it. And we will hopefully find some joy in that, knowing that his presence is still here. So I want to just say thank you to Vito for being the friend that he was to the borough and to myself, and again extend my deepest condolences to Francesca, Anthony, and Emmy, and his whole extended family and friends for their loss. Thank you.
I knew Vito casually until I got on the council, and then I really knew him. I sat next to him. What I learned from him, I can't even explain to you. He would sit, and he'd just keep saying things. Always, the knowledge was unbelievable. And then when it came time for council comments, he'd say, nothing. He'd been talking to me all day. He was just so knowledgeable. His humor was unbelievable. And I really grew to love that man. We spent social times together afterwards, and his stamina and his fight through this horrible disease is unbelievable. My fondest memories on this council will be sitting next to Vito and learning from him, and knowing what a wonderful man he was. My deepest sympathy to Francesca and the family, and all I can say is we will all, and I especially, will miss you, Vito. I count on you watching over us.
Thank you. Vito Acquasito was a man I greatly admired. We had much in common. We were both born in a different country and came to the United States. We both were educated in much the same way, and our lives had some parallels. I always enjoyed our talks greatly. I broke bread with Vito, talked at length with him about issues affecting our community, and although I knew him for a shorter time than most in this room, I will miss his wise counsel, his unabashed pragmatism, and his wry sense of humor. My condolences to the family, to all of us here for having lost such a great man, and he will be sorely missed.
Anybody else like to say anything?
Well, notwithstanding everything that's been said, I don't think I've ever met anyone who has had a great appreciation for their family, for their God, for their community, and for their country. And for that, I'll always be grateful, because he opened my eyes up again that we should appreciate everything that we've been given, and he certainly did.
As a councilman, he loved a good debate. Sometimes he would try and foster that debate. He never wavered on his opinion, but he disagreed when necessary, but he also compromised. And there were some great attributes as a council person that I respected, and that I also learned to adopt as a council person. I got to also know Vito outside of here, spend some time with him, had dinner with him, and just listening to his stories was fantastic. And as my dad always said, he was one of the good guys. And rest in peace, Vito.
Yeah, I guess if you could ever call somebody on the local level a statesman, he was a statesman, even if it was just in our town. I think there was probably 3 separate occasions in the last 3 or 4 months where he would text me, "I want to talk to you. What is it, Vito? I want to resign from the council. I'm not doing my job," he said to me. I said, "Of course you do your job. As long as I can talk to you, as long as I have access to your brain, we're all happy to keep you up here, as long as you want to be here." His wife said to me that she was especially proud that he was able to stay on. She was very appreciative of all the emergency services, borough personnel. She said to me yesterday, she goes, "You know, I can walk by Riverdale High School, and I know that he designed the addition, so I see him in it." You know, so he certainly will have a lasting impact. And he said it'll be a very, very different council, but we will learn his lessons and try to keep his priorities and run the government the way he thought we should do it. With that, I'm going to ask for a 5-minute recess. Recess for 5 minutes. We're back in open session. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Ballwoman,
Still here?
Councilwoman Christie,
Here.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yeah.
Councilwoman Davis,
Here.
Present. Councilman Papaleo,
Here.
and Mayor Mignon.
Here. Correspondence. We have various pieces of correspondence listed in the agenda. All of them are available for public review or copies through the Borough Clerk's office. And Madam Clerk, will you please read into the record a letter from Marie Papaleo, Chairperson, River Edge Democratic Political Party, please.
Okay, this was dated March 21st. Dear Ms. Evans, the River Edge Democratic Political Party would like to submit the following 3 names to be considered for replacement of the council seat of Vito Frater. They are in alphabetical order: Joseph Gautier, Janice Solomon, and Luis Flores. Also, these nominations are to fill the unexpired term ending 12/31/2018.
Is there a nomination from the council to recommend a nominee?
Yes, I would recommend we seat Joseph Gautier.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Barloni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Steve?
Yes.
Councilman Canigo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Papalayo?
Yes. Congratulations.
Nope, Joe, you come forward.
Do you have an oath?
Put the book behind you.
I know, it's been like.
Oh, you have it here.
You have an oath written to him? I got a blank one. Yeah, okay. No, I have a blank one. I'll give it to you. I'm just gonna follow it.
You weren't first.
I, Joseph Cloutier, do solemnly swear
I, Joseph Cloutier, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
and that I will bear
true faith
true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the government established
and to the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I, Joseph Cloutier,
I, Joseph Cloutier,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties as
all the duties as
member of the Borough Council,
a member of the Borough Council
Borough River Edge,
of the Borough of River Edge,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take your seat, Mr. Councilman,
Quiet. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to open the meeting to the public for any comments or questions. The motion open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're open to the public now for comments, questions on any matter whatsoever. Yes, Casey?
A question again from Mr. Sarlo, same one I asked you last time I was here. Have you gotten in touch with the attorney in Trenton?
I have not. We've had no other further communication, same as I told you the last time.
4 years.
The borough, there's nothing further for us to do with this. The borough has the list of the sidewalks that need to be repaired. Last we heard that John Lynch was prioritizing them, and then it was going to be up to the borough to determine when or how they would be fixed, the locations. But for her and I, at this point, there's been nothing else further for us to communicate. But I'd be happy to reach out to her and see and give her an update as to where we're at.
She hasn't heard from you in 4 years.
And I haven't heard from her because there's really nothing for us to do at this point in time. But I will, I'll again circle back with the mayor and council in a closed session and determine where we're at.
Question for the mayor is there somebody here in town that is an employee of the town that is a qualified person to do self-assessment? You know, the borough attorney just said John Lynch is, how do you put it?
I believe the last time we left off is he was going to inspect the property locations, the list that we had. I believe that was the last, my notes were that was the last we left off, so.
That's part of the transition plan, is it not, Alan?
I guess that's what he's referring to. Yes, that would be part of the transition plan.
Yeah, this is a formal plan that gets Okay.
Is there a full-time employee that does that?
No, most towns typically have a
You have
committee.
over 50 employees here in town?
I
would
don't
think so.
Mayor, I would be the employee that would be responsible for the transition plan. So,
That was the word I was trying to think of, thank you.
yeah, I would be the full-time employee.
Somebody has to do that. And it's
Well,
not
we-
just when somebody makes a complaint, they have to be out there.
We
all
have
the
a,
time.
we have a plan, but it needs to be updated.
But the locations have to be updated.
No, we haven't gone through a formal updated process, but we did have an original plan many years ago, but it does need to be updated.
You've been on the council, sitting with the council there from when I started coming here in 2007. I never heard anybody answer that question before. And that was posed to you, everybody on the council back in 2007, when Peggy Watkins was still mayor. And no answer came from anyone, Alan, not yourself or anyone.
I'd have to see that. I don't have a recollection of that.
It's required by law.
No, I understand that.
And Mr. Sarlo, just to let you know, maybe you want to do a little information collecting. I got a letter from the Access Board, which is part of the Department of Justice. And they're the ones that set the rules that then get sent down to the Department of Justice, who puts them in a book or registry or something. And the first thing this guy sent me was, it is the municipality's requirement to repair sidewalks, especially if they're lifted by something that the town owns. You know, that's something, as a homeowner, you can't control. If it's in my front yard and I want to control it, I'll cut the tree down.
We have made improvements on public facilities over the last several years.
What's that?
We have made improvements at public facilities over the last several years. We did work, I know, at Memorial Park and a couple other places for public accommodation.
Since you brought that up, can I mention one thing?
Sure.
The ramp that goes up to the middle school, Roosevelt, is that the middle school? I'm not sure. The Roosevelt, the ramp,
It's a grammar school.
there's not enough room at the top of that
Oh.
for a landing. It's a minimum of 5 foot. Now, if I go in this one, you have no problem, because it's small, but I do not choose to really ride in this. You know that, you see me all over town.
Yeah.
Not on this though.
But unfortunately, that would be something you have to bring to the board's attention, or maybe our liaison can
And you
discuss.
haven't run me off the road or hit me yet? Jeez, you lost your chance.
Nobody wants that case. So I'll ask Councilman Canino at the next Board of Education meeting to raise the issue. It's on their property, so,
No, I think I'm done.
okay, thank you. Anybody else?
So I don't mean to be picking on you.
It's totally fine. I don't take it that way.
Part of the job.
No, yeah.
Well, you understand,
Legitimate concern.
it's a challenging process for all the towns. And
So one thing that makes me like, this is back when Denise was still borough attorney. I had asked her for some information, and you were the one that gave it to her, because Bill Lindsay had retired or died, I'm not sure what it was. And she sent me a copy of it. What really caught my eye was, the letterhead was Little Ferry. What is your position in Little Ferry?
I'm
Borough attorney?
no, I'm a councilman over there.
Okay.
Yes.
One thing I read when I was down at my niece's house, who lives in Little Ferry, was how you walked around, I think it's Indian Lake or something there, and you had mentioned to the mayor and council there that it should be replaced because of the liability. This is a few years ago now.
Yeah, I'm not certain.
in that case, okay. Just so you're aware, you had raised an issue with me several months ago about the timing of the light over at Continental. The county is going to change it, and we're
I
going
came
to,
up through the, on River Edge Road to Kinnickmack, and to get across, I sat there and I think, maybe I missed one or two. I call someone.
I've asked the county to evaluate them. We're gonna be upgrading all those intersections with countdown timers,
Right.
and they'll make sure there's sufficient crossing time. 'Cause I agree with you on that one.
With the power that's been going out, with the town getting all torn up by public service, why not speak to them now while they're doing that and have them put the electric underground? Same thing with the phone companies.
It's a good idea in certain circumstances. It works much better, obviously, if you're doing, say, a new subdivision. The issue they run into when they do it, after the fact, it requires putting transformers on each street. And then
On
you
what?
talk transformers, because you have to bring the transformers to the ground, they don't go in the ground. So you have to put transformers and tie the houses in that way, and you'll still wind up having some overhead wires. So if it's a brand-new facility, the RSI standards say you have to do it. Retrofitting it's never as easy, and it's,
I think it would be better than having half the town knocked out.
but again,
Well, get my
we have to
wife
balance
in
the
there.
cost. You know, a cost to do one block could be $500,000.
Borne by the town,
Yes, they would not pay for it.
because they know they gotta do it.
Well, it's $6.5 million, you know, there were issues with underground utilities also, but they had issues with water filtration and corrosion. But
One thing that burns my wife is where we live on Adams, right behind us on Jefferson, they never lose power. Same thing with Millbrook. Why can't that grid be broken up and give Adams Avenue electric at the top half? I don't know what goes on below Boulder and Elm.
they have they've created more local grids, and I know, you know, they upgraded the major service on Fifth Avenue. I don't have a map, that's something they don't share with us, obviously there's security concerns.
A couple of years ago, when the power went out for 10 days or so, I was talking to one of our neighbors, and you know him, Kurt Schmidt. He was telling me that the line that goes right through his property is the main grid that comes out on the Milford. They should be able to split off of that. I think it would make a lot more simple for when the power does go out. for them
But
to
next
find
time
the
you go
power.
down Fifth, look at the wire, you can see that the new reinforced one they put, it's a, you know, it's a redundant system, but they are trying to increase reliability, put more redundancy in the system.
Where did they do this on Fifth?
It's been done over the last several years, but you can see look at the top of the poles, you'll see a different configuration with the way the wires are.
Not an electrician, so I wouldn't know what I'm looking at.
No, physically you'd see a difference that you'd recognize. So. And I believe there's a meeting this week with them regarding the payment. Wednesday. They're usually pretty good at restoring the streets, so we'll be on top of it.
My very last question. Has the crime in town gone up very high recently? Because I see in the town here, we've hired, we had one officer retiring, I think he was replaced by 3 or 4, maybe even 5.
No, we've had promotions, and then we had 2 officers transfer to other departments in a relatively short period of time, so we don't have any more officers than we did when we started.
Okay. I thought maybe the crime rate had gone up or something.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Hopefully it doesn't.
I hope so too.
I like Mayberry.
I think the police do an excellent job, so I think Chief will keep things in order.
I'd also like to thank the borough, the DPW department for the way they cleaned up the streets. The one thing that has to be reminded to them, and I keep telling Alan this, is the town is required to clear off the curb cuts. And it seems like after I told you whether you said anything or not, it seemed like that they cleared off the 2 or 3 that I can see right from my house. Or they got cleared off. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Joe Manzelli, 789 Sixth Avenue. I just want to thank the mayor and council for the proclamation for Mr. Alfreda. He was a great man, a friend. fellow board member at Riverdale. And sir, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm Mayor and Council approval. Just one word of advice. We're not here to replace them. There's no replacement. Swing them on the way, and that's what you would want. So, I want to thank you.
And I think at this point, I would actually also should publicly thank Superintendent Fletcher and Superintendent Bendo. When I asked them to lower the flags on the day of the funeral, they did so. So we appreciate that too. Anybody else? No? Okay, motion to close to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council comments? We'll let our new councilman start off.
First off, I'd like to thank everyone here. Thank you, Tom, Ellen, Dario especially, because, you know, obviously, I know you guys. It's a pleasure to meet the rest of you here tonight. Thank you, Marie. I appreciate everything. And, you know, obviously, you know, Vito's shoes are huge and nobody could ever fill them. I didn't know him as well as some of you here, but he was always a gentleman and very kind man, and I was saddened to hear of his passing. But again, thank you to everyone here, and it's a great honor to be even considered for this role. So, and I look forward to serving the people of River Edge. Thank you.
Bartoloni. Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. I did meet with another vendor for the TV, and we're getting there. So that's all I can kind of say right now, but we are getting there in that regard. Just something to think about. The last couple of years, I've done tours for the third grade, and they're going to come back again this year. The two dates right now they propose are May 17th and June 14th. I'm just checking my availability, but if anybody is interested, this year I think there's 4 third grade classes, so they're going to come over, and we usually give them a tour of Borough Hall, the police department, the fire station, give them a little, you know, this year they study civics in third grade towards the end of the year, so give them a little civics lesson. So if anybody's interested in being part of it, I'll let you know what date I work out with Ms. Campbell over at Roosevelt. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And then that's about it for now.
Councilman Papaleo?
Thank you. Welcome, Joe. I know that you'll put an honest effort forth, and you'll be an honest broker for the town. I'd like to again commend the DPW for serving with distinction at our last snowstorm. Those guys honestly, literally work more than 24 hours because of a snowstorm. John brings them in, they grind the roads, and that usually happens before 6 a.m. And then they plow until the job's done. 2 snowstorms back, I said to John, the guys have been working for 24 hours. Have you sent any home to eat or to sleep? And John's response was, it's too much work to do. So, but it's always safety first. No one's operating equipment drowsy or fatigued. He does bring them in, he does feed them. But he gets a lot out of them because I believe they trust him and they believe in him. And I know that the council trusts and believes in him, so we're grateful for that. The beautification committee canceled their meeting due to the storm. Shade Tree had its commission on the 5th, meeting on the 15th. It's a good meeting. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Joe. I look forward to working with you,
Thank you.
and good luck. The Environmental Commission is on fire, I should say, and they've asked me to bring 2 things to the council's attention. They are going to, for the first time, participate in the Bi-State Cleanup, which is a group of towns in Bergen County that all get together on the same day to clean up parts of their borough on April 28th, and part of the challenge is weighing all the waste that you've collected, so it's aggregated, and so I'm going to hand out just information about this. They They intend to have the Kinderkamak corridor be their cleanup site. Is there anything that they need to get approved by anybody to do that? They can just, right? And there's no waivers that would need to be signed. You know, it's an individual, right? They're just going out.
No, this is-
Right.
They need to inform the police department.
Yeah, well, they'll
And
do those,
as
they'll
long
do
as
those
they're,
things.
as long as they're staying out of the, paved way, they're
Yeah, you
okay.
can hand them down. It's, I stapled them directly, okay. So I'm gonna let them know that they can proceed with making their announcements
Yeah,
and
well,
gathering.
if there's any other issues we need to address, we'll have,
Yeah. And she's already been, Laura Hookstrate's been working with Lisa Hessman on what their needs are and that, so that's exciting. The other thing that, they are working on, our recycling programs. They had 4 students from Riverdale come in and talk about their recycling efforts when they were Cherry Hill students. And they're working on, I can't recall the name of it, I forgot right now, where they collect what's normally not recyclable items like Capri Sun, juice pouches, and those, and pencils, markers, pens, and they can actually recycle these items. So they're working on that in the schools. And they're also looking to start what's called a Trek challenge for recycling, which is plastic film recycling. There's a company, I'm going to hand this up, there's a company that will take your grocery bags, your bread bags, they'll take dry cleaning bags, all that type of stuff. You can collect it in sites, and if you meet the challenge of, let's say, 500 pounds of this plastic film, the manufacturing company called Trex will create a bench made out of all of that material and donate it to the borough. So they are going to take this challenge on from April through October. The company Trex will provide the bins, and the Environmental Commission will be responsible for dropping them off at Whole Foods, which is the collection site, and weighing our stuff. So they wanted me to share that with you. They're going to put bins in each of the elementary schools. They'd like to approach the library. Maybe Dario, you can ask Dara if he would be okay to take a receptacle. I'm handing out now. It'll show you what the receptacles are. And they also thought maybe, Mary, that they would put one at the farmer's market and people could drop their stuff at the farmer's market when they're visiting. So they're really taking quite an active role in trying to promote recycling in the borough. So I wanted to share all those things with you. Arlene Fostini asked me to report for Stigma Free that they are having a program on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock at the library. They have a guest speaker on childhood anxiety. So if it fits in your schedule, please go out and try to support Stigma Free on Wednesday at 7. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
I thought I'd have the opportunity to sit next to you. I go out to a tissue and and maybe you take a
We were the musical chairs and move on.
Yeah, Vito sitting next to me and whispering things to me. I thought you might take over. We'll give eye contact, of course.
Sounds good.
Okay, welcome. Fire department had standby for the snowstorm from noon to 8 p.m. and never went out. Far cry better than the storm before when they were absolutely slammed. The health department, there was no meeting in January because, as you heard before, there was no quorum. And I welcome Jane Daly. I think she'll be a great asset to the committee. And they're having a meeting right now as we speak. I went down to SCORE today, and they have a few new members. They are trying a few different things. But all I want to know is when we're getting the community center. There's a lot of people, I was told, that don't like going down there for whatever reason. So I tell them it's moving on, and we will be, hopefully, with Vito watching over us, get it done.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Joe, welcome. You're going to be a great addition to this council, I'm sure of it. I'd just like to take a moment to thank Chief Caridi and Officer Estevez for taking time out of their day last week to give Cub Scout Pack 229 a tour of the police facilities here in River Edge. The boys, I know, were thrilled by the tour, what they saw, what they learned. At the last River Edge Board of Education meeting that I attended, the board asked me if I would bring up to the council the idea and future possibility of moving the election sites from the school to somewhere else. Knowing that right now we may not have the space, or maybe there is some space available, the board would like to broach the subject based on the safety concerns about individuals coming into the schools when there are children present. And I believe Roosevelt is a special concern because of where the election is and the accessibility of people to the school. So I'd like to bring that up. I'm not sure where to go with this from here, but I'm sure in one of the future work sessions we can discuss it.
It's been something that they've asked perennially, and we just don't have appropriate space to do it.
Hopefully we're building something that might
That can
help
help,
us
that might take some of it.
down the line.
Yes.
Otherwise, we've got the library meeting next week. At the last library meeting, the library board asked me to broach the subject with Alan about the HVAC system and starting work on the HVAC system separate from the community center. There are possibly some grants that may be available, so I believe we're exploring that. I just wanted the council to know that that's something in the works that's been broached and it is being looked at. Otherwise, again, we miss Vito, and thank you all.
Okay, just quickly on the community center, the architect and HVAC engineer were out there today anyway to look for utilities, both for the library and for the new building. We're waiting on, I said I wanted sharp pencil estimates on the construction. Vito would have heard, and Al knows how much we've been pushing that, because I don't want a 10% guess or an estimate. We need to be fairly tight. Our budget is not a lot of room for error, so we want to make sure before we roll the plan out publicly, it's something we can do. And hopefully by the next meeting we'll have that information. Hopefully it'll all be within our budget, and then we'll be able to actually start making some official public presentations on the plan. So it's going to go. So other than that, I don't really have anything else to add this evening. So let's make a motion to adjourn. I will so entertain it.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Adjourned. Thank you, everybody.